Okay, now that you know how to write formulas of ionic compounds, again a metal and a non-metal, the reverse process is I give you a name, or a formula, sorry, and you give me the name. So the sheet we're dealing with here is 8.3, naming ionic compounds. You need to be able to do both. You need to be able to write the formula, but if you're given the formula, you need to be able to write the name. Most people find the naming side of this easier. There is one last sheet of naming where you're dealing with ions which are multivalent, which gets a little more complicated. But on this particular worksheet, you are dealing with all monovalent ions, and so you shouldn't have any difficulty at all. I should mention that not only do you need this worksheet, but as always you need your periodic table. Probably need a sheet of polyatomic ions, both the positive ones and the negative ones, and realize that there's big lists and short lists. This happens to be a very short list. If you don't find the ones you're looking for, then look elsewhere. I think I gave you a couple of handouts on polyatomic ions. The other little thing we should probably consider is, before you even look at that worksheet, why don't we just consider a formula? Seems like a good place to start. Get a pen going here. What color do we like today? I'm thinking I'm feeling green. Could be the turkey. So if I give you a formula, AgCl, and let's change the size of that because that is just grotesque. So I have AgCl as a formula. Recognize when you name something, you're just recognizing the ion names and changing the ending of the last ion to "ide" if it's a single ion, right? So this, of course, you will know and love as silver. This, of course, is chlorine, but we are not going to just leave it as silver chlorine. You're going to get rid of the ending and you're going to change it to chloride. Whoops. So you'll get used to very quickly this idea that the metal is just kept the same, silver, and then the non-metal ion is changed to ide. I wonder if there's a way of just erasing that whole screen without me using a silly eraser. Let's go clear. Oh, brilliant. Let's do another one. Let's say I give you the name magnesium, and what shall we have it combined with? Sure, oxide. So again, first step, recognize the metal ion. That would be, I think we just did this backwards. Shoot, I gave you the name, and now you write the formula. So magnesium is 2+, oxygen is 2-. Guess what? Those both add up to 0. So the correct formula for magnesium oxide is just, in lowest terms, MgO. And again, I apologize because, hey, we're supposed to be naming compounds, not writing formulas. But you know what? Let's not compartmentalize knowledge here, because you really have to be able to go both ways. Okay, this time we're going to get it right. I'm going to give you a formula. ZnOH2. What the heck is the name? No problem. You look in your periodic table. If you don't recognize that, find Zn as zinc, where you wash the dishes. And of course, OH. You don't find OH together on the periodic table, so you should be looking on your sheet of polyatomic ions. Of course, you're saying to yourself, say what? Polyatomic ions? Where's OH? There's OH, hydroxide, and it has a charge of -1. Not that we care, because we're just naming it, right? So the OH is hydroxide, zinc hydroxide. No sweat. That is the name. I think we should do one more, and then we'll take a quick look at that worksheet, and you'll be good to go. Okay, doesn't get any more complicated than, say, something like NH4OH. Again, as soon as you see that there's more than 2 elements in that compound, you should be saying to yourself, okay, what polyatomic ion is NH4? What polyatomic ion is OH? And if you don't immediately recognize them, and after a while you get so used to seeing these things, you do recognize them, then you look at your sheet and you say, NH4? Let me see now, NH4, yes. Remember, we changed that 4 to a subscript. I think it's wrong on most of your sheets. It's actually NH4 plus 1. But the point here, when you're naming, is that we just know the name. NH4 is the ammonium ion. So we go back to this, and we write, we print ammonium. If anybody wants to buy me a Surface, by the way, I think I could do this so much neater with a Surface. I give you a few bonus marks, throw in my cat. Ammonium and OH. Remember what OH was? Hydroxide. Yes, I think we're good to go. Let's go back to that actual worksheet and just show you how, attainable this all is. Again, with these practice worksheets, the only side you need to turn in is this side. I'll do a few examples from this side, and then if you want to practice with this side in pencil. Come on up and get some help, or call me over, get some help from some of your friends. Make sure you can do these correctly before you do your 21 to 40 and turn it in. Again, just a reminder, all of the paper worksheets, make sure you're turning them in as you do them so I can give you feedback on them before we ever have our little hot seat interview. So, KCl, I know what K is. It's potassium. Do you know what Cl is? Yeah, it's chlorine, but remember, change the ending to "-ide". And again, the only reason we're changing the ending to "-ide" is only with binary compounds, compounds with 2 elements. Na2S, it's still got 2 elements in it, sodium and sulfur, so you're going to change that sulfur to sulfide. And you know what Na is? Na is sodium. Yes, indeed. That's an I. Honestly, it is. And that is a sulfide. Let's spell it like a good Canadian with a PH. Unless, of course, you're feeling American today. But again, notice, "-ide", "-ide". Why don't you try number 3? I will pause for 13 seconds and then see if you can do it on your own. Okay, close enough. Al, aluminum, Cl, chloride. Piece of cake, eh? BaO, Ba is barium. Oxygen, change the ending to "-ide". Silver and S, silver sulfide. Aluminum oxide, lithium fluoride, zinc fluoride, magnesium bromide, calcium sulfide. Ah, there's one with a polyatomic ion. You see there's more than 3 elements in number 11, so you know you're not going to end with "-ide". You're going to have to actually look at NO3 on your sheet of polyatomic ions, and you're going to recognize it as nitrate. Potassium nitrate. Of course, you will print so much neater than I am. Same thing with this one, MgSO4. More than 2 elements, it's not binary. Chances are there's a polyatomic ion here, and sure enough, SO4. Check your sheet of polyatomic ions. That is sulfate. Start with magnesium. Magnesium sulfate. Wow. How about this one, number 13? $1 million in a purple Ferrari. If you can get that one correct, try it. You got it? Come on now. I know what Zn is. Zinc. OH, hydroxide. Good. What I would suggest is, if you are not completely certain what you're doing, is do some more on this side of the page, and then when you're ready to move on, turn in number 21 to 40. Don't forget to get some help if needed. Right.